Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 18th. My name is Alan, and I want to welcome you to my Spiritual Growth Through Recovery podcast. The purpose of these videos is to grow my spirituality by following the AA program of recovery, and I do that by being honest, vulnerable, and accountable, which is why I make the videos, all right? I'm no expert in AA or recovery or spirituality, just sharing my experiences. I'm trying to live life on life terms and do that sober. So the recipe we follow here is we read the daily reading out of the AA Daily Reflections book. There's a link in the description if you'd like to follow along. I'll just share my take on what I took from the reading and anything else that's on my head or my heart. And yeah, that's what we do here. So let's get busy. All right, so the topic for today is self-honesty, and then we'll do a little continuation of the seven-step book in the 12 by 12. All right, so self-honesty and continuation of the 7-step. So I had to pause. I forgot my book, so I'll get back and get it. So, all right, April 18th, self-honesty. Good stuff. The deception of others is nearly always rooted in the deception of ourselves. When we are honest with another person, it confirms that we have been honest with ourselves and with God, as Bill sees at page 17. When I was drinking, I deceived myself about reality, rewriting it to what I wanted it to be. Deceiving others is a character defect, even if it is just stretching the truth a bit or cleaning up my motives so others would think well of me. My higher power can remove this character defect. But first, I have to help myself become willing to receive that help by not practicing deception. I need to remember each day that deceiving myself about myself is setting myself up for failure or disappointment in life and in Alcoholics Anonymous. A close, honest relationship with a higher power is the only solid foundation I've found for honesty with self and with others. Yeah, this is a really, really big step, big topic for me. Early on in my recovery, I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't realize I was doing a lot of this lying to myself or justifying or spinning my reality to make it fit whatever I needed. But today I realize, it's much more easier when I'm being dishonest with myself. All right, so some things that jumped out. Deception of others is almost always rooted in deception of ourselves. Ultimately, we're lying to ourselves, and I think we do that out of selfishness, out of fear. We want something that's not forthcoming, or something's getting taken from us, or in some way we need to spin it to be okay. Because we need it to be okay, and that's just not a good way to live. And then when we're honest with another, it confirms that we have been honest with ourselves and with God. And that's really what I was taught about the 5th step. And that's what we tell somebody else. Because for me, it really hits home. I can't run from it anymore. I can't hide from that truth that I'm trying to avoid. When I was drinking, I deceived myself about reality, rewriting it. I mean, boy, it's just, even like when I'm not drinking, I still find myself trying to spin things in certain ways to fit whatever makes me feel comfortable. And that is just not a good way of living at all. The impact of not seeing reality, it comes back to that insanity definition where you just a twisted view of things. If I'm not seeing reality for what it is, and I'm not sure exactly how to get totally there, then I'm going to be off, and I'm going to be spiritually off balance and sick. So, deceiving others. Deceiving others is a character defect. Even if it's just stretching the truth, right? Just stretching the truth. I think we know, at least I do. I know when I'm not being fully honest. Like I'm notorious for, if you ask me something, I will give you an honest answer, but I may withhold something, some part of that truth, and that's just kind of me not being afraid of how I'm viewed, right? So that's why I do a lot of those things. My higher power can remove these defects. I cannot do this alone. Obviously I've tried to. Usually it's when the external world gives me consequences for my lying, then I want to change it because I don't want those consequences. But I can't do it alone. And then so something I struggle with. I need to remember each day that deceiving myself about myself is this. I'm just hurting myself, right? I'm my own worst enemy. And not sure what the heck that says. I'm just hurting myself and just setting myself up for failure by being dishonest. Really, it's the the real me is being revealed in my recovery, right? I realize how impatient I am, how judgmental, how dishonest and impulsive I am. I think it's just important for me to be honest about what my recovery is like. Obviously, I'm making some progress. I'm trying to get better, but it's just where I'm at. It's where I'm at. So that's self-honesty. I did want to read a little bit about the 7th step because this step is just kicking my tail. All right, and this kind of has to do with. So back over here on 74. All right, so now we talked about the character and self-reliance, right? At this stage of our progress, we are under heavy pressure and coercion to do the right thing. We are obliged to choose between the pains of trying and the certain penalties of failing to do so. Right? And there's no easy way, right? Even the easy way is the penalties of failing to do so. So which pain, which discomfort do I want? Hopefully, I'm getting to the point where I wanted the discomfort of trying and not the discomfort of the penalties of failing to do so. All right. These initial steps along the road are taken grudgingly, yet we do take them. We may still have no very high opinion of humility, but we recognize it is necessary to our survival. Me getting out of the way is necessary for my survival. And the last thing I want to talk about today is just, until now, our lives have been largely devoted to running from pain and problems. We fled them as from a plague. We never wanted to deal with the fact of suffering. Like I said above, we're either going to get suffering with trying and that discomfort, or there's the pain that we get from by running, right? Either way, which one do we want? Escape via the bottle is always our solution. Character building through suffering might be all right for saints, but it certainly didn't appeal to us. Character building through suffering. In this way, I think we can choose which discomfort we want. And today I'm going to choose the discomfort of character building instead of the delayed, consequences and pain that come from failing to do so. So anyway, that's the self-honesty. Tomorrow I want to kind of wrap up. There's like additional promises in the 7th step in this 12 by 12. I want to share those tomorrow. I want to encourage you to, just listen to your conscience. Where are you being dishonest? And ultimately, it's going to dishonesty towards ourselves has the greatest of consequences. So, look and see what you find. So, anyway, I hope you got something out of the reading. I know I certainly did. I always do. Be back tomorrow for another reading, and I hope you have a wonderful day. So, peace out.